Hello, my name is Roseanna and I'm one of the counsellors here at Force. Today's video is on enhancing connections through gratitude. Over the last couple of months, we've all been undergoing incredibly big and difficult shifts to the way that we live, work and interact with others. For all of us, this has presented with challenges in one or more of these areas. Perhaps one of the most prominent areas that we're noticing, particularly now, is that of connection with others. I'm with you today to offer you a research-backed idea on how we might help ourselves to feel more connected to one another through positive feeling at this time. Things can begin to feel quite insular when we're in the same environment for a long period of time. We don't have the same levels of external stimuli that often keep life interesting and exciting, and with that, moods can deteriorate and connections can become harder to maintain. As our own moods dip, it begins to feel that everything and everyone around us is reflecting the bad feelings back at us. This is called confirmation bias, and the psychological term relates to how our minds look for confirmation of our internal beliefs in the external world. So, in short, if you're thinking about how bad things are, you'll notice the bad things and more likely let the good things pass you by with less attention paid towards them. On top of this, people do reflect bad feelings at one another. So if you're feeling negative, it's likely that eventually this will be reflected back at you by others around you. And this can become a really difficult cycle to break, each of us feeding the difficult feelings of one another and beginning to feel more and more alone with these feelings. So how can we break the cycle and get things around us to change? It can feel like a pretty powerless position. Because if we're looking to change the world around us, it is a powerless position. We can't force what's around us to change, and we don't have control over the world around us. If we want things to change, then we need to turn our attention inward, because that's the place where we do have control. If you change something, your surroundings will in turn adapt to make room for this. Your personal change sparks a chain reaction in your environment, so to speak. So what can we do to encourage some change within ourselves? Well, going back to what I was saying earlier, that we might be noticing some of the negatives around us, and this might be causing a barrier to connection. One of the simplest things that we can do is start to recognise some of the positives that are happening in the here and now. It's important that I say that this video is not designed to negate from the huge difficulties that many of us are experiencing at the moment. We're of course allowed to have and express difficult emotions, and that's healthy and okay. These feelings deserve attention too, and at Force we're available to support you with that side of things. This video merely highlights one of the aspects of this situation from which we might draw some understanding of ourselves and some of the things that we might want to bring forwards after isolation. So here's a simple exercise to help us stop and notice the things that are happening around us in the here and now. Get a pen and paper, and once a day just sit for a moment and think about what you're thankful for. These can be the tiniest things that are happening. The sun was out, we laughed about something, I listened to the birds singing at supper time. See if you can think of 1 to 3 things, or more if you want to, but it doesn't need to be a time-consuming exercise. It's designed to begin to get us to notice the little things that make us feel good. The research has shown that after a couple of weeks of journaling in this way, people begin to feel more authentically happy. That's because in recognising some of the more positive aspects and continuing to do so over a period of time, we are rewiring our brains to default to a more positive place. Instead of just noticing the negatives, your brain will begin to see what is good in the world around and acknowledge the value of the people around you. You feel more positive and your relationships deepen with mutual appreciation of each other. Beyond this, your list will show you over time what matters most to you in this world, what makes you happy, and that is valuable knowledge for forming an environment around yourself that has more of the things that work for you and less of the things that don't. If you don't feel comfortable with this exercise for whatever reason, then that's okay. No one method works for everybody, and there are so many other ways of working with issues that are present at the moment. We're here at Force to offer support in whatever way you need to, so please get in contact.